Oh, what? No! The boys! Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm flying into Darktide's latest cosmetic update, just like the boys flew into the abyss on the All Ogre stream last night. And for the people that are looking to come back, the content update got pushed back a few weeks, so for now I'm going to go over all the good and bad stuff about this patch and give my opinions about them for now. And I also want to apologize for the veteran guide delay. At this stage, it was supposed to come out on Saturday, but it got red tagged for too many copyrighted memes. It's something new that I'm trying, and it's a lot more fun, but I had to go through about 12 versions of it to get it to be postable. So it was going to come out today, but obviously we're just going to cover the patch today, and the veteran guide is done and will be coming out tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll do my thoughts and opinions about this patch in about a week with full tier list updates, and we'll include chat's vote tier list that they made on the last event live stream, and I'm planning another event for everyone coming up really soon, so I'll be announcing that in Discord. But for now, I'm going to light this off with patch 9, Garbs and Penances. Basically, they just changed the old penances to force you to play in a private lobby to even be able to complete some of them. So even though they listen to feedback about new penances not disrupting the game, a lot of people don't play private lobbies, and it's almost impossible to make friends in game because of how horrendous the friends UI system is for just adding people. So I know a ton of people are already annoyed with this, and a lot of these penances ended up being fun with random people and stopped being a problem like 5 months ago. It's been like a one-off occurrence since January that I've had anybody even try to do a penance like that, and everybody in the group was usually like, yeah, sure. Nobody really cared. So the new skins are really easy to get on every class, and I'll just pop their tech stuff up with their skin because I just don't want to read all the bullet points. I really like the veteran's hat on this skin. It goes pretty hard, and the Ogryn's new chest piece has snackies on it, so you know we like that. Somehow the Psyker looks even more cursed than it already did in a lot of the other skins, but I think that has value in itself, and Zealot is what it is. I personally really like free cosmetics. I don't have anything negative to say about these. There is some reskin prison garbs, but some people really like wearing those, so that's fine. And I think this is really good for at least completionists, even if you don't like them. Then we have balance, and this is usually where everyone mauls, but something good actually came out of it. I guess we'll be seeing more scab maulers and hopefully more interesting patrols than just like 20 to 30 shooty boys randomly popping up. I know it says it will, but we'll have to wait and see. I've always thought there was too much of a range presence on all of the maps, and it was just more annoying to play against than fun, and was just really easy to deal with by just running around a corner and LOSing them so that they all just ran into melee anyways. Then they buffed monstrosity HP and made them weaker to certain attacks. I thought they were fine before, but I guess this is a thing for some reason. Then the blessing buffs were very interesting. Some of them weren't listed, and they basically just made the power sword the same as before with tier 3 power cycler. So this basically just means they pissed a bunch of people off for no reason at all a few weeks ago by nerfing it. So now that that's back, it's just more annoying by needing a blessing to be able to do what you used to. And the people that wanted the nerfs are going to maul now too, because the power sword does the same thing as before. Which if you had power cycler, nothing really changed about the power sword anyways. But nobody won with this, and the power sword still needs a complete rework. And yes, I'm still putting this in the RNG category, even if it does end up being easier to obtain than the tier 3. You still have problem blessings like Bloodthirsty that are still absurdly hard to get for the majority of people. There's just too many rare blessings in the game. It's just not enjoyable gameplay loop to roll like 30 to 50 weapons and not get what you want. Honestly, rolling more than a couple is just ridiculous, and I don't want to see more RNG in the game. It's just bad for the overall health of it. And then the Bloodletter change was honestly just silly. Bleed caps at 16 stacks, so the new tier 4 is 14 stacks. I think it's just weird. I don't have a lot to say about it. I just think it's dumb. So there also wasn't anything about adding the originally planned upgrading system for blessings, which is honestly more disappointing than anything else. And there really just needs to be a way to do that, or just buy tier 4 blessings for a fixed cost for melt coins. And they also haven't addressed weak point or crit damage being bugged since launch to not give the correct amount of damage that they want them to give, and only makes them good for hitting breakpoints in very specific situations to reduce overkill damage. I've talked about it in a few streams already, but anyways, they still need to be fixed. I've been trying to bring more attention to stuff like this and everything that's broken, but I'll just assume they don't care at this point. So on top of that, there's still a bunch of blessings and feats that work in the training room that don't work in actual missions. There's tons of feedback on the forums about it already. I don't really need to bring it all back up, but a couple of feats saw some buffs to try and make them perform better, but I guess they got some of the bugs fixed finally, but these are all pretty superficial, and they nuked my boy from shooting through walls. It was fun while it lasted, King, and you will be missed, but it still does really well. It's still not bad. It just can't blast straight through a wall anymore, which is probably for the better. But overall, a big L ignoring tons of community feedback about perks and blessings for this section. I usually flame forum warriors for the memes just for fun, but at this stage, everyone's real feedback to help the game grow is just getting completely ignored, and it's more exhausting than anything else. So they finally fixed the plasteel generation on some of the broken maps. And I want to thank a few people in my community for confirming that TRS 150 is finally giving the correct amount of plasteel that it should and not 150 anymore. So I do appreciate that. And they did an overall pass on the other maps to make sure that things weren't unobtainable anymore and fixed a bunch of performance stuff. So the maps playing better was supposed to be great and all, but the same settings I had on the live stream last night playing with no issues at all and good performance without my computer even really spinning its fans up are now making me stutter. And just starting the game and just leaving it open in the Morningstar makes it run insanely hot. And I get a ton of FPS drops. It's not just a me problem either. It's a lot of people problem. I also tested it on both of my PCs and my laptop, and it's just running way hotter across the board than it was yesterday on the exact same setting on all three. It's honestly starting to feel like nobody tests these things before they push them out. It's not like they don't have these issues on dev PCs, and I'm really tired of the brain rot takes defending stuff like this because it shouldn't be acceptable at all. Nobody would have cared if this patch was in a day or two with no issues, but more problems keep popping up as the player base keeps dropping off. So like any game, when the numbers go down, it gets less support, and this game still needs a lot of love. So maybe they'll have all this fixed in a few days, and in 2 to 3 weeks with the content update, they'll something a something and fix the something. This really is just a filler update that needed a lot more substance and needed to address the core issues that they keep ignoring. They have to unlock crafting at this stage. It's too far gone and unfixable, so they might as well just let people just have fun with it. It really isn't going to be a big deal to just do whatever you want with it. DRG and Left 4 Dead don't need to rely on arbitrary systems to keep people playing, so I don't know why Darktide thinks it needs to either, when you don't even need perks and blessings to do the hardest difficulty. Way back before crafting, you got what you got and you ran it down. This has actually just created a metagaming spiral that doesn't even need to exist in the first place with ridiculous power creep. And instead of being a fun, cool progression system, it just makes people feel bad for no reason at all if they're unlucky. And some other things that I think need to be done in a list are just let us pick map modifiers and affixes or conditions, whatever you want to call them, or at least make it so there's a low, medium, and high intensity up at all times for each difficulty. The server needs to let Game Pass and Steam players play together. I can't believe that still even needs to be a thing that we bring up. And we also need attachments. Every single weapon has rails on them to be able to put them on, so I don't understand why they're not there. And penances would have been the perfect way to add some sort of progression for them. But most importantly of all, there needs to be some sort of quality assurance on the game. And they have to start fixing real problem blessings and broken interactions. I said this was going to be the make it or break it update a few weeks ago, and they really just ran it down on the break it part of that. So the real make it or break it update, I guess, is the content update in 2 to 3 weeks, and that's when you would think about coming back. Maybe, but with Diablo 4 and a ton of other amazing games on the horizon, I really just don't know anymore. They're actually just taking too long with everything. This update right now is an absolute mess, and I know most people are just tired of waiting at this point. It didn't address player feedback and brought back that fresh December madness full of desync and stuttering that we all know and love. So I set the bar pretty low for this patch and still managed to be surprised. I don't know how that's possible. So I'll be doing another live stream chat event later this week. I had a ton of fun on the chat voted tier list. I do want to thank everyone for showing up to that. It was the most fun I've had making anything for Darktide, and everybody that showed up is an absolute legend. So if you miss it, I linked the VOD in the description for you, and I'm going to do a lot more events like that in the future for every game that I'm playing. Also, I've been getting this question a lot. I'm not going to quit Darktide at all, but when Diablo 4 comes out, I'm going to be playing it a lot, and I'm going to be making videos for it. I'm not trying to hide that from anyone, and I hope you can all enjoy those videos too. And I'm going to be introducing a bunch of new things to the channel. So I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you again soon. No!